Some personality types are known for their charisma or their articulate knowledge, but when it comes to the INFJ personality type, it seems that the first thing that is usually acknowledged by the INFJ themselves is their outsider experience throughout life. Yet, why is it that they can't fit in with society and lead a rather normal life? Welcome, or welcome back, psychos! Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into the video, starting with number 1. They see life as a game. If you asked any INFJ what the meaning of life is, it's almost certain that they will give some uncertain philosophical open-ended answer. Although they may believe their beliefs without question, INFJs are always open to hearing what others have to say on that matter because, in the end, the answer really doesn't matter. In fact, when INFJs first open their eyes to the many false-led beliefs riddled within society, they may become consumed on answering that exact question. And until they find a concept that best resides with them, they themselves won't be able to let that question go. However, even still, most INFJs have an intuition knowing that life's purpose isn't to find out what the purpose of life is, but rather what the purpose of their individual life is. With this understanding, everything in life that people strive towards becomes obsolete compared to their mission to find reason. Number 2, they are extremely choosy. With an underlying aloof approach to life, the INFJ seems to be rather picky about who and what they spend their energy on. While some people are used to taking what they can get in life or settling for connections to avoid loneliness, this overly independent being knows they don't have the mental energy to not be picky. While others may feel that the instant gratification or the ability to distract themselves from their inner thoughts is worth an unrewarding connection, INFJs prefer to spend the most of their time to themselves. This is what makes purposeless jobs and mediocre relationships so difficult for the INFJ to settle for. In fact, for this introverted intuitive, outer obligations and relations are only a complement to their vast inner minds. Number 3, their inner worlds tend to be more alluring. Speaking of this intuitive type's vast inner minds, the INFJ type tends to feel a sense of distraction from the life that's playing out in front of them. Filled with otherworldly curiosities, pattern-forming analyses, future projections, imaginative fantasies, and feeling other people's emotions, this type tends to be much more willing to spend time in their free interactive theater than in society. So, while they may be able to be convinced to attend a social outing, you can guarantee that they'll be busy consciously and subconsciously analyzing every single thing in the room. They may not really be as present as you'd expect, even if their chameleon-like social skills may convince people otherwise. Plus, every INFJ has an inherent craving to shorten the gap and unknowingness between them and their higher selves, or at least a desire to strengthen their spirituality. And as a result, many of their hobbies tend to be best executed by themselves. Number 4, they prioritize their mental equilibrium over everything. In today's society, there's no question as to whether or not people prioritize materialistic success, personal image, and selfishly beneficial relationships over their own personal mental health. People so often put work before their health because of feeling obliged to maintain a people-pleasing attitude, despite hearing their inner selves cry out for attention. This is one aspect of self-respect that the INFJ hopes to maintain for themselves throughout their lives. Of course, responsibilities and life's predictions get the best of all of us, and sometimes it's not possible to be so selfish. However, for the most part, a mature INFJ will gladly drop the necessary connections and obligations that seem to be causing a slow leak in their balanced mental energy. This is what stops the INFJ from forming too large of friends groups and also what can end up stopping them from advancing in their career. Because no boss wants you to have personal priorities. In that case, who would pick up their slack? Number 5. Their fierce dreams don't have a place in normal living. With imagination constantly at play, INFJs struggle to find a path in life that fits in with what everyone else around them is doing. Rooted in this imaginative foreground, this dreaming type has huge plans and goals for themselves. And while these dreams come and go, some to be achieved and some to be laid to rest for good, they almost never involve the INFJ following the crowd. They make it their mission to find influences and role models that help them believe in their out-of-the-box approach, just enough to make it a possible reality through their future-projecting lenses. For example, most INFJs crave the financial independence that allows them to remove themselves from the daily hustle and bustle of society. Yet, in order for them to achieve that, they must look at other avenues besides those offered to them by society itself. Number 6. Their need for newness gets in the way of mundanity. Once again rooted in their introverted intuitive and extroverted feeling of imaginative qualities, one of the simplest reasons the INFJ can't quite admit to living a totally normal life is that their restless mind won't tolerate it. Yes, this organized type is known for feeling most efficient when they've planned and prepared before going forward. However, too much repetitiveness is one way to quickly lose the INFJ's attention. While some personality types thrive in repetition, or may even find a sense of security in knowing what is expected of them at all times, the extroverted feeling and judging functions require the INFJ type to constantly explore new options and ways of doing things. This can obviously get in the way of succeeding long-term in a regular 9-to-5 job with commutes, monotonous tasks, and thoughtless gossip. Plus, the set rules and regulations that you often find in societal structures and institutions leave no room for creativity, new approaches, or innovation. All things that are required to keep the INFJ coming back for more. Number 7. Decisions don't come easy. The most ironic aspect of the INFJ's choosy preferences in life is that it can take them a considerably long time to reach a conclusion on how they feel on a matter. Of course, this all depends on the situation and person, as the INFJ can sense a toxic connection coming from a mile away. However, paradoxically, they also have the habit of giving things more chances than they deserve, just to be completely sure of their decision. They don't come to any conclusions without first ruminating about them before, during, and after the fact. Subconsciously, they need to know every possible outcome, and then why the chosen outcome was the one to play out. They are constantly analyzing patterns and behaviors to come to the most accurate conclusion should they need to make a decision on the matter in the future. So, it's not exactly shocking that these decision-making habits can end up making living a so-called normal life quite daunting. Because they require things to be mentally settled before going forward with confidence. Number 8. They can play the part for naught permanently. Okay, so what exactly is a so-called normal life if the INFJ can't live it? Well, with everyone living their own unique lives, of course there's no exact meaning to the word normal. However, when we think of a functioning member of society, we don't think of the outcasts that INFJs are known to be. When INFJs come home after a long day of navigating and observing in the real world, it's as if they take off their high-alert functioning member of society thinking cap and can finally enjoy the solitude they've been craving all day. While everyone, or at least every introvert, enjoys this feeling after a long day at work, the INFJ enjoys this feeling even after a quick run to the grocery store, or going out for coffee with a friend. While they're certainly convincing at the moment, acting as if their mind isn't observing 1,000 things per minute, they'll only be able to enjoy the time they had once they're homebound. And once they're done with their day and they close that front door behind them, the INFJ is officially in hermit mode and will not be seen until the AM. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, what about your life is rather taboo or out of the norm as an INFJ? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.